Eddie, we are in like one of the most famous buildings in the world.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see St. Basil's Cathedral? I always think of Moscow and Red Square. What about you?
I think this is the most iconic church image in the world, if not the most iconic building in the world.
And today, we're going to take you inside St. Basil's Cathedral, a place you've never been before unless you've already been to Moscow. So, I'm Eddie, Moscow photographer, and this is
Joseph C. Rose, Expat American.
And let's go inside St. Basil's.
Braille.
So Joseph, what do you know about this?
Well, I have learned that it's 10 domes, so I was just counting them right now. Like, what counts as a dome? I guess that's a dome. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does that mean this is not a dome? I guess it's not. Yeah, so 10 domes.
Maybe.
And what I remember is Ivan the Terrible had it built, and he had it built because he wanted to commemorate victory over Kazan, taking Kazan. And I didn't know this was here. I love this model outside because we're standing right outside and we can see it like an ant just looking up at it. But this allows us to see the actual structure of it. And I think this built from 1555 to 1561, something like that. And it was the tallest place in Moscow until 1600 when Ivan built his bell tower, which is at a park. And I forget the name of the park. But I went there in my video, How Old is Russia?
Yeah, it's cool. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. And there's a myth that the architect that built this thing was blinded by Ivan afterwards. But that same guy built many, many other structures for years after building this. So, what does that tell you? It is probably most certainly a myth.
Probably a
myth.
myth.
Feel good because when I heard that story, it kind of made me feel sick. You know, that Russia blinded the guy that built this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You are seeing a glimpse of St. Basil's that most people don't ever get to see unless they come here,
We'll never get to see.
and that some will never get to see.
I mean, for me, this is like, this place represented like the most furthest you could ever be, you know, on the planet. Like the most exotic, most faraway place. I never, ever thought I would come close to this place, let alone walk around inside and make a video about it.
Exactly.
I listed a bit. I put my hand on the wall, and the guard yelled at me in English, "Don't touch!" I mean, he wasn't mean, but he's right. I shouldn't touch because this place is ancient. And I was reading that in 1928, this became a museum. So the state, Russia at the time, which was then atheistic, they took it because they didn't want churches, and they made it a museum. And then in 1991, they started having church services here again. But it is still part of the Kremlin complex. Look at how old it is. You know, as a child, I imagined it was like a newer place, I guess, than what it actually is when you see it.
It's incredibly ancient.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, in most, not most, but I've been in a good handful of Orthodox churches, and they seem to be all dark or dimly lit.
Yeah. I wonder if these beams are put in later to to keep it from collapsing, or if they were part of the original
I
design.
wonder about that.
Yeah, this is definitely like medieval. So this is what the walls are made of, I assume.
Child during the Cold War, seeing St Basil's Cathedral, Red Square, immediately reminded me of the USSR. And at that time, as a child, always wondering what was behind the Iron Curtain. And now, the curtain is gone, and I live here. What an amazing, amazing story that is. But so I feel like a kid who's discovered a candy store. When I see St. Basil's, when I come to Red Square, it's just, I'm a kid again.
All right, let's see what the second floor has to offer beyond the main tower. Oh, wow, look at that, Eddie. You can look out at Red Square. Hey, very cool. Fantastic. See, you've got the statue that's out front that stands out in front of the church here, and then you have the red castle in the distance. That's the State Historic Museum. That's the other end of Red Square. So we're on one end and we're looking across Red Square, and it is February, so the holiday stuff is still set up in the center for ice skating and whatnot. Russia celebrates the New Year for quite a long time. And that is the podium for speeches back in the day that some people think was a spot for executions, but most likely, most people think not. Very cool. There's the main Kremlin tower. And this little tower, I've been told, is where the king would sit. Or the Tsar. I don't think they call him a king. Maybe I'm wrong. Got the painted ceiling. And the guards speak English. I leaned against the wall. They told me not to touch. Oh, wow, you can see the old wall. And then here's inside of another tower. So cool. So cool. Eddie, we are in like one of the most famous buildings in the world.
The most iconic.
Wow, it's cool. It's a little bit bigger than what I remember. Oh, we got helmets here. Wow. So this looks like what we saw outside, but it is a painted version. I wonder if it's the exact same, and maybe it's a little bit bigger.
Could be a little bit bigger. Scale model from the early 20th century.
It is so cool to look at. I feel like a little boy when I get some of my kids' action figures and jump around on it. Oh wow, look at those bells. Very cool. So I guess those are retired bells. What is this? It's just like, I guess, brick pieces they had to replace.
This reflects the changes in architecture and design that had been made over, I guess, different centuries. So,
you know a lot for a retired policeman.
well, I tend to read. I tend to read. Some interesting facts about St. Basil's Cathedral. Few people know that St. Basil's Cathedral is also known as Intercession of the Most Holy Theotokos on the Moat. I kid you not. And to my shame, I admit that I did not know this fact. The central church of the Intercession of the Most Holy Theotokos is located in the heart of the church. It is here where I was fortunate to listen to a performance of Doros, the all-male vocal ensemble. Just have a listen. Listen to how beautiful the acoustics sound. The exceptional sound is attributed to the skill of ancient architects. Kremlin.
Fantastic, man. Very, very impressive. As a Christian, it's just so nice to wander through such a famous place and see it.
Absolutely incredible, Joseph. Thanks for coming along. But now we've got something really amazing coming up on your channel. Tell us about it.
Something completely different. This is our second collaboration, right, Eddie?
It is.
And I just realized as I'm talking, in our first collaboration, we were at a church on your channel and we were looking at military devices on mine. And now in this collaboration, we are at a church again for your channel. Where are we going next? Click over right now. I posted it right now. And you probably have an idea what it might be.
Oh yeah, you're gonna find out. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Click, click, boom. Up next,
Photographer and Expat American. I jumped on your words. We should repeat it a little bit.
Let's do it again.